So I have come to the realization and also just kind of the epiphany that I am a slut. Yes, I am a slut. What do I mean by that? So obviously there are many ways that someone can interpret slut. We are very much in an era of taking words back and using them for our own power. Follow me, walk with me. Traditionally, a slut is someone who has sex with many people. At least that's what I've come to know it as. But it begs the question, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with having sex with lots of people? And I found an answer. I did find an answer where you don't seek out sexual partners with intention. That's where you fuck up. And what I mean by that is, take it from someone who has had quite the sexual journey, okay? I was a social pariah for being a slut in high school. I was the promiscuous girl who didn't know how to say no. I knew I craved sensuality. I knew I craved being touched in a certain way, but I did not know how to go about it. I always found myself admiring those women that you see in movies that flaunted their sensuality and they used it to their benefit, and they were confident, they were powerful, they were strong. And now, being older, I realized that these were just Jezebel stereotypes, horror stereotypes that they were trying to feed to girls to keep them subjugated. And you know what? It worked for a little bit. It worked for a little bit. But I'm here to tell you right now, it don't work no more. Because I'm awoken. And I'm sharing this with y'all. And my whole point of doing this sex talk is to share what I've experienced, to hopefully impart that knowledge onto the younger generation, or just onto other people that haven't had the opportunity to dissect this stuff themselves. Sometimes it can be really hard and really sticky to be honest with yourself in a certain kind of capacity and really tell yourself, is this my best self? Is this where I want to be? Is this what do I like this even? Do I like this even? And as women, as people raised as women, we are not taught how to ask questions about ourselves, to see how we feel, to check in. At least I wasn't, especially when it came to sex. The sexual education that we got was bare bones. Hey, don't do this. You stick it in, you'll get pregnant. You stick it in, you'll get a disease. And sometimes gay people stick it into each other. That's all I learned. Also periods. And going into the real world, interacting with the world around you, and now being thrown into the cosmos of what is a sexual awakening, you don't know what the fuck to do. Nobody tells you. There's no guidebook. My whole goal for this talk is to help women, namely Black women, liberate themselves sexually. I personally don't think there's a problem with having multiple sexual partners. And I also don't think it's a problem to want to have sex. Like, it's just sex. There's no emotional connection. There's no, like, wanting more out of it. You just want the carnal experience. And I talked to my mom about this recently, that you cannot just have a carnal sexual experience with no energy exchange. I agree with that. You cannot. Some people are better at mitigating those energies than others. I've definitely been in situations, right, one situation where I was messing with this girl and I wasn't clear, but I also didn't really know what I wanted, and I didn't express that. That's my fucking problem. I didn't know what I wanted at the time. I kind of wanted to be in a relationship, but then I kind of didn't. I mostly didn't. To be real, I didn't. And I ended up messing with this girl, and she was like in love with me, and I was not. And I expressed that to her, and I told her, like, hey, that's not where I'm at. But she didn't believe me because my actions said otherwise. The way I was fucking her said otherwise. The way that I interacted with her said otherwise. So I do think it's really important to have really good boundaries with yourself and other people when you're trying to explore yourself sexually. If your freak flag flying, you got to be communicating also and letting people know where you're at and what staff your freak flag is in. Is it half staff or is it full staff? It's half staff, then okay, there's room to wiggle, there's room to grow. I might get into a relationship later, we don't know. Full staff, full freak flown, we're just having a good time, babe. We're having a good time, and I will let you know if anything changes. And I bring this up also because I have noticed this has been a recurring theme since fucking COVID. People are extremely touch starved. And I think it's because I deduce my thesis is that people are touch starved because they're afraid of being hurt. They're afraid of what being touched and being loved and being vulnerable could mean. My lesson this year was having hard conversations. I've had several hard fucking conversations this year. Apparently my mic wasn't working this whole time, which is fine because you can still hear me. So as I was saying, I've had several tough conversations this year, all of them telling me about myself and making me realize, hey, I'm not perfect and that's okay. Thank you. It was really tough to realize that I was imperfect. I too was an imperfect person, and not to feel bad about it and to give myself the space to grow. And I think that when it comes to relationships these days, because everything is so focused on social media and not being in person really, people don't know how to talk to each other, me included. Okay? I feel like day by day I am losing my social abilities. My social anxiety has been through the fucking roof. So you ask, well, Shai, what do I do then? How do I fix that? And the solution is to put yourself out there. To just do it. Do the things that scare you. Check yourself. And this is all really important to talk about when it comes to sex because this all conglomerates into one thing, into your sexual experiences, your ability to communicate, your ability to express your feelings, your ability to feel vulnerable, your ability to be intimate. It all comes into one umbrella that is your sex life. My sex life greatly improved when I started being honest with myself and my communication style. The shame has to go out of the window. For you to have positive sexual experiences, you need to be able to be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself about how you feel, honest with yourself about what you desire, honest with yourself about how you want to navigate the world, how you showed up in a certain situation. Because if you're not able to be honest with yourself about what you want, how do you expect to be able to be honest with someone else about what you want? I've made this mistake so many fucking times. I would hate for another girly to have to go through what I'm going through or what I've gone through because I felt shame about my feelings around something. I second guessed my feelings around something because I wasn't sure how I'd be perceived. Your feelings are your feelings, babe. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. If you're not into it, you're not into it. Just because that person seems to be something that you want, but you know in your deep down gut that you're not really into it for real, you're not really into it, you have to be honest about that. Even if you don't really have a real rhyme or reason why you're not into the person. And I find that happens a lot with other people raised as women, okay? We often second guess our reasonings to not want to be with someone. We want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We don't want to make assumptions about them. We don't want them to feel bad. And that's noble. It's really nice. It's so nice. But I really want women to stop being nice. You know where nice got me? Nowhere. Kindness, on the other hand, because being nice is not a selfless act. Being nice is protecting you from whatever might follow from you saying no or from you being oppository. Is that the right word? I think. Being nice lands you in situations where you're having sex with someone you don't want to have sex with. And now you feel icky afterwards because you really didn't want to do it, but you could not get yourself to say no. You couldn't do it. And I'm talking to my younger self as well. I've been in so many situations where I was too scared to say no. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But let me fucking tell you something. I would rather die standing on 10 fucking toes than on my knees, bowing to some elusive power of some person that probably doesn't respect you. I will say also in recent developments, I've discovered if you don't feel safe to say no in a given situation, there's a reason. I used to date this girl. I would eat my pussy into oblivion. And when I say oblivion, I don't mean it in a good way. Was it good? Did I come? Yes, absolutely. Did I orgasm? Yes, absolutely. But when I'm done, I'm done. My pussy's tapped. My clit is tired. She's clocked out. But she wanted me to keep going. She wanted her to stay clocked in. She wanted her to do overtime. And every time I'd be like, but like it's too sensitive. Like I'd have to lie and say it hurts for her to stop. I just didn't want to keep going. But I had gotten so accustomed to giving her what she wanted because she had a way of making me feel bad if I didn't. And I really hate to talk about women's business in front of everybody. But I think this is important to mention too, as well, because I think there's this rhetoric that lesbian relationships are safer. That is not true. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. There's so many lesbians, so many studs that hold up the patriarchy, taking tips from misogynists. Anyway, this is not about her. This is about finding yourself, finding your voice. Being sexually liberated is fucking fantastic. It's freeing. No one can tell you what you can or can't do with your body. If I want to get slutted out, I'm going to get slutted out. If I want to have a passionate lovemaking session, I'm going to do that. If I just want to kiss, I'm going to do that. If I want to cuddle, I'm going to do that. I think touch is extremely missing in society. And that's why people are so angry and act like that. That's why they act like that. We're going to wrap this up. All right. So, in summary, get touched. It's okay if you want to be touched for multiple different reasons, but be honest with yourself. Eliminate the shame. Be able to tell yourself when you want something. And even if it's a little kooky, even if it's a little freaky, that's what you want, that's what you want. Within means, you know what I mean. But if that's what you want, if you just want to have carnal fucking animal sex, that's fine. If you want to have sex outside, that's fine. If you don't want to have sex at all, you don't want to be touched, that's fine. If you just want to go into an experience where you are being pleased and nothing else, you want to be on your pillow princess tip, that's fine. But the overarching rule is to communicate and eliminate shame within yourself so that you can be honest about what you want and they can make an educated choice based on how you've communicated to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sex Talk. I hope y'all are practicing safe sexual liberation and I hope y'all got fucked this week. Bye!